Hi, I'm Jackie and welcome to my channel, My Magical Home. Today I'm going to be taking you along with me as I decorate and get ready for St. Patrick's Day, and I've also got a delicious meal idea that you don't want to miss out on. So don't forget to say hi down below, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe and join my YouTube family, but let's go ahead and get ready for St. Patrick's Day. So unfortunately I am still healing from my recent surgery, so we're going to use some editing magic at certain times because the struggle's real. So all of the items to decorate this window space I already had on hand, including this really pretty green garland, as well as these glittery shamrock pieces from these bundles that I picked up from Michael's, and the mossy Michael's shamrock that is in the middle. It's a lot greener than it looks on camera, and these just really brought out the twinkle lights that I keep up year round. Now in order to decorate this next space, first we need to plant these little shamrock beauties that I picked up at a local grocery store. Now I'm putting them in these little pots that I picked up at Lowe's, and I think they were so cute. They actually were right about the same size, which I thought was just perfect because I kind of am a little OCD and I like things to match. But the gods have different plans because they met their arch nemesis. I introduce Calliope, the cutie, but also plant murderer, who comes in like a vicious viper and bites off the head of the shamrocks, leaving me with disproportionate plants. So I'm going to put my table runner in here and bring in those plants, and in just a second you are going to see the first one, luscious, beautiful, so stunning. The second, he's doing his best, man. This thing keeps coming up and attacking him. After that, I have a sign that I made in a DIY video, I think last year or the year before. I will have all of those linked in a playlist down below in case you want some extra St. Patrick's Day fun. And I'm also going to bring in some greenery to bring in extra flair and love. You gotta know, if you've been an OG, that I love adding greenery to everything. So, if you're also wondering what I'm watching in the background, it is Once Upon a Time. I am revisiting it on Disney Plus. It is a favorite of mine, and so let me know. Have you seen this down below? Let me know in the comments. Now we're going to bring in some cozy touches. I have a green blanket I'm adding here. The color doesn't look right on the camera. I don't know what to say. As well as another throw that I have for the back of the couch. And then I have some St. Patrick's Day pillows that I'm going to be adding as well. Poor little Nabara does get moved here, but she did get a treat, so don't feel too bad for her. She actually did come back almost immediately after I started filming because she loves to snuggle in pillows. It's so cute. I decided to move these little green pillows over to the chair, as well as an ottoman that you're going to see in just a minute. And it's time to bring in that sludge sign that we made in my last DIY video. I'm just going to add it to this bar cart, as well as another little sign, just to give a little extra flair. Now this is that ottoman I mentioned earlier that Serafina was on, and I want to point out this really cute blanket that I'm struggling with right here. It is actually the most beautiful tapestry. I've had it for many, many years, from when I used to have a little metaphysical store. And you can actually see too that the candlesticks there just so pair in with this Celtic vibe. I love decorating for St. Patrick's Day. Don't forget to let me know down in the comments, do you guys decorate for St. Patrick's Day as well? And also, what do you think of everything so far? Now, I have gotten kind of tired at this point. I did start decorating kind of late, so I decided to let it go for the day. And so in just a second, you will see me the next day. Now I did end up changing up my vibe, but don't worry, I still have on green tartan pajama pants so that I'm pulling in that Irish look. So this little window here is such an odd feature in my home, but it is actually one of my absolute favorites, in addition to the beautiful scroll work candelabra things that we have up on top that I can not only use for my candles, but to dry herbs and flowers. It's also just a great way to welcome you into the home, because it's one of the first things that you see. And when my daughter was little, we used to turn this into a movie theater concession stand or so many things. So I really like to decorate here. So we're going to be adding a welcome sign, as well as lighting up one of my new Bath and Body Works candles that I'm really enjoying. I think it's calling Sailing in the Mediterranean. I don't know. But so you'll also see that I kind of clean up back behind me here, but I feel like all of that is completely lost into the saga of Calliope and the candle. She is enthralled. She doesn't know what she thinks. She doesn't know. Does she get closer? Does she stand back? She has me completely captivated. I don't even care what I'm doing in the background. Before we head to the next space, I've got a couple refills that need to be done, so I'm adding this French vanilla syrup to one of these little jars, as well as some Irish cream to the other. I eventually want to have all of my syrups in jars like this, but one step at a time. It does make it so much easier and less messy though when I'm trying to pour and make a good coffee in the morning. So I also am going to be refilling my hot cocoa, and then it is time to clean up my coffee bar and little popcorn area here. Now it is time to decorate, so I'm just going to bring in my sprinkles and a couple of the different decor pieces that I have. Now most of this is things that I already had, but the little cauldron piece that I do add is a new DIY that I did in my last video. If you are curious how I changed a typical Halloween cauldron into this little pot of gold piece, you can find that information down below. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think of this year's coffee bar. As you know, if you're OG, this is a space that brightens my day every single day, and so I love to add the little bits of sunshine and change, but I also would love to hear your opinion. Now I am just going to put up 2 of my signs, including the Shamrock Cafe, as well as my family initial and this little shamrock that my friend picked up for me this year, just to give a little bit of that extra flair. And then it is time to set up my bouquet that we're going to be using. Now I have this blue vase that I've had, but it's kind of too wide to actually use most of the time for flowers because everything just kind of splays out in every direction and it gets anarchy. So I'm using painter's tape right now to create a little grid of types across my vase, and what it is going to do is make sure that my flowers stand up so that I have a tall, really nice bouquet. Another tip that I like to do is I hold the vase right next to the edge of a counter, and then I kind of put the flowers next to it so I can see exactly where I need to cut. I did try flowers in this pot without doing the grid thing, and it did not work. They splayed everywhere. So this is something that definitely works. I hope that you will try this out in your own home because it makes things so much easier. And it makes it, you have a full bouquet for so much less. So now I'm going to go ahead and decorate my kitchen table, use a little bit of editing magic for those hard to reach places, and then it is time to decorate my pantry on top. I am really digging the whole table vibe for St. Patrick's Day this year and would love to know your opinion. Now, when it comes to the top of the pantry, so I was recording, but I was also listening to an audiobook, and it would appear things happened. Not everything was recorded as it should have been. My bad. And so you'll see a couple minutes of recording. Dorian comes in, absolutely adorable. And then it's off to the final shots of how everything ended up. I know I gotta get rid of that Christmas tree, guys, but I keep finding ways to use it. Look at these cute little pot holders. They're St. Patrick's Day partying avocados. I picked them up at Ross. And so I am just going to add them to my stove area here. I'm super excited. And then I do have a couple extra things I wanted to add to the living room. I totally forgot to use my coins that I aged. So I wanted to add some of those to the entertainment area. Serafina was obviously interested as well. I think that they just added that extra little touch. And I want to tell you that I had someone think when they came by my house that these were a real coin. So it was like the testament of aged properly. So excited. I'm also doing another version and like viewpoint of the bar cart because I realized I didn't really do a close-up to show how it went. So, and then the last and final touch in my decor, it is time to add my St. Patrick's Day wreath. Make sure to stay tuned because I've got a recipe coming up that you don't want to miss out on. So that was the last of the decor that we needed to put up. Now it is time to start cooking. Now this is an absolutely delicious recipe that is not only great for a cozy night at home, it is a terrific alternative if you're not wanting to do the traditional corned beef and cabbage for St. Patrick's Day this year. Now, this is what I like to call Irish mac and cheese. You are going to take 1 box of elbow macaroni and cook it until it's done. After that, you are going to strain it and set it aside. So while I had those noodles cooking, I also had a pan with 1/2 inch of Guinness beer and 1 package of bratwursts. And I'm basically just steaming them in the pan until the Guinness kind of evaporates. And I don't know, I guess I just kind of go for this look so that I know that it's done. After that, I went ahead and put them into my broiler and cooked them until I felt like they were completely finished and kind of had that crunchy outside that I love that you can get from a grill. Unfortunately, when I did this, it was snowing outside and there was just no way I was going outside, so we worked with the broiler. You can see here that they are done and just that nice charcoaling effect that you can get. I went ahead and cut this into 1/2 inch bites and set them aside. Now let's talk about the cheeses we're going to be using today. I have Irish Kerrygold Cheddar Reserve, which is a sharp flavored cheese, as well as the Kerrygold Dubliner. Now I wanted to work with Irish cheese because I'm calling this my Irish Macaroni and Cheese. And I'm going to just go ahead and half both of these cheeses, and I'm going to make kind of a mix where one of them is going to be shredded cheese, kind of like you can get from the store in like a generalized bag, and the other half is going to be shaved. Now the shredded cheese is going to be used later to make a sauce for this, and the shaved cheese is going to be set aside so that I can use it for layering in the macaroni and cheese. It's time to make our sauce. We have 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 finely diced shallot, and a teaspoon of garlic. And I'm going to go ahead and let those cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. And then I bring in 1/2 cup of Guinness beer. And I'm just going to let these continue to simmer with 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper for about 8 to 10 minutes. And you're going to cook this on the lowest setting. You just want a very light simmer so that all these flavors can combine. Now, as this is cooking, you are just going to smell like some amazing smells, but you do want to stir this around to make sure it doesn't stick. And then it is time to bring in 2 ounces of softened cream cheese. And you're basically just going to stir this until it becomes like a weird, creamy, thick sauce. And then it is time to bring in 2 cups of milk. Now, if you don't let the cream cheese go into that sauce originally all the way like I just did there, it makes it a little bit more difficult to get them to combine. So you want to make sure to do that all the way. And then you're going to bring this to a light simmer again on the lowest setting. And once you start to see that roaring bubble, it's time to bring in those shredded cheeses from earlier. Now you remember, just the shredded, not the shaved. And you are just going to go ahead and add this in and just continue to stir until it is completely mixed together. Once that is done and everything is melted, it is time to bring in your noodles and mix those in, and then we're going to start layering. to tell you, these Kerrygold cheeses just paired so well with the flavor of the Guinness. And I'm actually not a big Guinness fan, but I am actually going to use it so much more in cooking after this because it added such a tremendous flavor. And I couldn't believe how well those sausages and the cheeses worked with it. It's time to put this baby together. You are going to go ahead and put a layer of your macaroni noodles on the bottom, and then you are going to come in and add a layer of that shredded cheese, followed by a whole bunch of your sausages. I just kind of layered them as in the middle and all the way around the edges, just as many as I felt like my family would like, followed by another layer of that macaroni and cheese. And you want to make sure to save enough of that shaved cheese to add a final layer on top, because it is going to add such a delicious golden brown texture on top. And then you're going to put this in the oven and cook it at 425 until the cheese starts to look golden brown on top. You guys, this was freaking fantastic. My family loved it. I am literally copying this out, and I am going to be putting it in our family recipe book. I hope you enjoyed as much as we did. So this is supposed to be the part where I show you me plating this fantastic macaroni and cheese and do a taste test for you. But unfortunately, I thought that I would be able to pull this off after my family ate tonight, and no such luck. So I feel like that's kind of a testament to how absolutely scrumptious this was. My entire family enjoyed it. I hope that you will check out this recipe and try it out in your own home. And if you do, don't forget to take pictures and tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see how it turned out for you. I'd also love to see how your St. Patrick's Day decor turned out this year, so make sure to take your pictures and tag me so that I can check that out. This is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you for hanging out with me. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because I have got so much more fun coming your way.